Laat zien.
Ja.
All right, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Friday Silly Shills show. And we got a great group. Awesome videos. Holy, I think we have literally plumbed the depth of what YouTube has to offer with some of that crap we're going to bring for you today. So, enough bullshitting. Hey, Dead Kennedy in Space. Who's here and what's going on, buddy?
Oh boy, I see a lot of stupid on the menu, so I'm excited for that. But before we get to it, let's go around the table, see how everybody's doing. Mr. Dawson, yourself.
Oh, good. I'm very excited about this. We've got a lineup that is just facepalm warnings are in effect. You take care of your gear, your screen, your keyboard, your mouse, all that stuff, tablets. Oh man, like seriously, you should watch through a pillow. This is going to be crazy.
Excellent. And I normally intro Aimee last, but I'm gonna go to you right now because I know we had a super chat at the beginning of the stream, and I bet it's driving Matt crazy. How are you guys today?
We're doing great, thank you. And yes, it probably will in just a minute if he sees that, because he just ran off for a minute. But everybody's doing great. We're looking forward to tonight's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just really excited about it. It looks like we've got a lot of stupid to cover.
It really does. It really does.
It does. And then we got a super chat. So we did it. Yes, we did, honey. There he is.
I don't see any.
There is one, sweetheart. Look. Oh, two.
Mary Vegeta
For
$10 said, just dropping off this off early since I can't make this payment for Dawson's dance on DKI's stream the other day. Tell DKI I still do not consent to that docking XD. You don't even need to send that long. What the hell's wrong with you?
No.
Oh boy.
And then here we go.
Jessica G, are you rich or something? Are you a bot?
Someone's a little testy today. Hey, come on.
Jessica G, stop sending super chats. I hate you now.
No, you don't either.
Yes, Jessica G for $2 said, Dick, answer your question for Megamere. From Megamere?
From today. Thank you very much, everybody.
I think Amy's going to be busy this evening. I don't remember what the question was. Put it in the chat because the whole thing when it dropped threw me for a loop. I just don't remember.
And to explain what Myrai Vegeta was talking about, the Kerbal stream I did the other day, I docked a ship with a station, and the station is called the Mirai Space Station, named both after Myrai Vegeta and after the Mir Space Station, and she kept insisting that she did not consent to docking, but too bad, that's what a space station is designed for, and it's not sentient, so too bad. Now, moving on. Cheesemondo, how are you today, sir?
Oh, hello. It's been an exciting day in the Mondo household. The washing machine started leaking, so I've been mopping the floor for most of the day. Apart from that, looking forward to some stupid.
All right, excellent. Good to have you. And Dick, did you want to answer that question now that it's in the chat?
Oh yeah. The person I would want to meet alive or dead was absolutely Jim Croce, singer from the 70s.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Hardwin says, no, I want to see an anime about a sentient space station. I'm sure that's been done. There's Lex. That was a show about a sentient ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure it's been done. Anyway, Colon, keeping your hands on the controls today. How's everything with you?
Not too bad. Had a lot of fun earlier on. Shame, unfortunately, Dick dropped out right at the end of the Mega Mirror. So I think the final part of the question was, why is it that you want to meet that Jimmy guy?
Oh, he's probably my favorite songwriter of all the people. Like, never mind virtuoso talent on an instrument or whatever, but his songwriting is just unbelievable, amazing. And I'd like to get to know the guy because what happened in life that gave you the experiences to write such good tunes. Got to have some good stories.
There you go, Jess. Got the answer for you. Right. No, everything's good, and I've been trolling today the depths of depravity and stupidity, and I might have even gone to library. Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, I've seen the list, and oh boy is the thing to say. Mike Bertelson, how are you today, sir?
Oh, doing good, doing good. Looking forward to see what kind of a lineup we have tonight. It seems to get stupider and stupider as we go along, so it's got to be interesting.
I am looking forward to it. PhD Tony, how are you today, sir?
I am very well, thank you. Always wonderful to be here. So excited. Muddling my way through a new video about entropy. It's nice to take a break from it.
All right, I'm looking forward to that as well. And let's see, I think that's the whole list except. Yes, of course. We have the man of the hour, the guest on tonight's show, who I have been told is not ugly, not German, and does not tell the truth. Ugly German Truths, how are you today?
Who told you these things? I'm absolutely ugly German, and I have been known to tell the truth.
I don't remember where I heard that, but the second I heard you talking in the pre-show, I was like, well, someone lied about him not being German.
Yeah.
But it's great to have you with us. I'm glad you're able to make it.
Happy to be here.
I do have
So,
to say that Ugly gives me an awful lot of stick in the side chat. He has been for months, so I'm glad you're here for a really stupid show. Have fun.
Are you ready?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's going to be a good one. What do we want to? Does someone want to go through what we've got and try and pick one, or what do you think, Dick?
What do you think, Colin? You know the lineup well. Should we start specifically with one, or should we? How is that? Is there any plan?
No, I've got no plan whatsoever. So I did have one lined up, but really that's a fun one that everybody can just have a good laugh at. And yeah, why not start off with a laugh? Let's go with that one.
Cool.
All right. Which one's that?
It's going to surprise us.
Yeah, you're gonna regret that question.
Like, because I looked through the list and I was like, well, any of these have the potential to make me laugh just by virtue of how stupid they are.
Exactly. What is he gonna do to us this time?
We seem to never be short on stupid, so.
Well, same day, same time. This is not to scale, of course. When I grew up, the solar system was stationary.
All right, honey, come on.
The sun was standing.
This is my favorite clip.
I forgot that was coming, so now I'm sad that I spoke up, and I wish can we rewind and watch that again? I want to see him get yelled at by his wife again.
Oh, there's more coming, isn't there?
Oh, does she yell at him more? Oh, great.
Oh, yes. We see her.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well then in that case, I do want to point out, no, when you grew up, the solar system was not stationary. No, that's just plain a lie. If you gathered that from your education, then the education system failed you and you failed it.
Big time.
Or he's just stupid.
It's just stupid.
Yeah. I think the hammer dropped there.
I mean, that's just no. We've known for a long time that the solar system is part of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all of my life.
I'm trying to figure out exactly when we worked that out. It probably would have been around the same time that we stopped calling it the Andromeda Nebula.
Yeah, right?
I'm trying to work out if he went to school when Pontius was a pilot, or when they were building the Babylonian towers, or possibly when China decided to form its first dynasty.
Yeah. Emperor
We've
Chin.
already had we've already had a few Monty Python references, but one of the most educational sources on the nature of the universe is actually the Galaxy song.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
I love it.
Oh my God, I love that song.
In which we go around once every 200 million years. And stop yawning at me. I'll go super chat on you.
Oh God.
But
Okay.
see, the best thing was, for some reason, we had to manually approve the comments that were just a yawning emoji.
Yeah, how does that work?
Please sort your shit out, YouTube.
Oh God, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
All right, should we let CC get yelled at some more?
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
why not? Okay, rolling.
Just stop this bullshit. Idiot.
Shouldn't you give me like 5 minutes?
No, you've had it all morning, and I'm just freezing, and I'm hungry, and I'm trying to stop cleaning the house.
Next time round, I get a chance.
Well, you can just
Oh.
crank it in the monitor strip right now.
It's on full. It is. It's absolutely on full.
I love
Oh,
when
wow.
she calls him an idiot.
I even
Can we
boosted
just
the
put
game
that on a loop?
Yeah.
for the whole show, maybe.
Oh, yes. That definitely does need to be a clip. You're an idiot.
We
Okay,
definitely
so-
need another song that's just like a compilation that has a bunch of sound effects in the beat of flat earthers being called stupid. That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jessica G makes a good point. How did this end up on the internet, right? He must have uploaded this.
He did.
He
Was
uploaded
he
it, yeah.
was he live streaming it? Did he was he sort of stuck with it? Or
No,
did he
he-
record it on his phone and then upload it?
That's
At
exactly
which
what
point
happened.
He recorded it and then uploaded it. And here's what I think he thinks he's doing, because the title of it is "Living with a Globe Birther." So he thinks he's making some point about the persecution that he has to deal with in his own home.
Okay.
And none of that's his
That's what
fault,
he
of course.
thinks. That's what he thinks. I'm not saying that's accurate.
Yes.
I dispute that entirely. I don't think there's any evidence that this man has ever thought. You take that back.
Okay. You definitely can allude to the fact that, yeah, he does not think, he just does. And I think he just says whatever comes to his mind at any given point in time, whether it's appropriate or real, or it doesn't matter. I did see a flat earther do the same sort of thing as his title just this week. He talks about how, flat earthers are doing what they believe in, and they're losing relationships and friends, and then blamed it on globetards. It's like,
Right.
Seriously, you're seriously going to blame us because you're an idiot.
It's basically like someone getting addicted to heroin. All their friends stop talking to them because they're awful, and they blame their friends.
Yes.
And not the heroin, or them taking the heroin.
They shouldn't be quite as amazed. They are going to wake up, and it turns out their life before it was all a dream.
Well, that's part of, like, I'm working on a video about a sovsit named Marcel Bisset, who spends a lot of his time, he spends a lot of his time telling people that he's going to sue them all for $1 million. And, the world waits with bated breath for him to win or even submit a lawsuit at any point. And I find it interesting that at some point, you have to, if you were Marcel, you'd have to wake up and realize, I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm wasting my time. How does that thought not enter their heads?
I don't know. He seems to allude to the fact in his videos that he's already been paid millions and millions of dollars. So
He acts like that, but I've never seen any proper evidence.
Oh no, you won't, because he hasn't.
Yeah, because you search the guy up online, and anything aside from his own material, the only thing you'll find is that he had the cops called on him because he went up to a lemonade stand, gave the kids $100 and his business card, and thought it was fine. He thought it was like totally normal, and like the parents were like, "This is weird and concerning." And he said, "Well, I was just doing a nice thing for the kids." No, you fucking weren't. If you were, you wouldn't have used your fucking business card.
Yeah, it's like driving up in a van and giving kids candy. Yeah, what's wrong with that? What could possibly be wrong with that?
Right.
Wow.
There's a weird like lack of self-awareness among conspiracy theorists that I find really disconcerting.
Well, that would explain soft sits, because they have a serious lack of understanding about their own.
I mean, well, I'm just wondering, because to me, Jess says, "I really want to know what Tony thinks about all of this," and then she's going to put up a yawn emoji. Yep, that was kind of. Kind of how it was going to go from the get-go. So I kind of think that beyond, now that I know that soft sits exist, right, I'm not necessarily as interested in them. Okay, it's like finding out that there are, a particular type of idiot. Yeah, there are people this dumb and this creepy and this stupid. But now that I know that they exist, I'm not interested anymore. Wow, something existed that I didn't think should exist, because evolution should prevent that sort of crap from happening. But it does exist, and I guess we all have to live with it. Yeah, I don't know. And I'll stop now because the number of yawns is getting quite large, and I'm worrying.
I actually find soft sits kind of fascinating. They seem to know statute numbers, and I don't know how you get to the point of being able to know those numbers and not have any clue what's in them.
I think in the same way that a flat earther knows to quote the second law of thermodynamics, but doesn't know what that actually means.
Yeah, but they're not really even quoting it correctly. I mean,
That's true.
So.
Sorry, but seeing as we're heading into the soft sit territory, I think I know what video is coming up next, so I'm going to get it lined up. And yeah, carry on just a second.
Yeah, brought it on ourselves. Nobody.
Just out of curiosity, have soft sit arguments ever worked? Has anybody ever seen a video where the cop said, "Okay, then go on"?
No.
No. I want to see. They always talk about suing. I always want to see if there's ever been an actual lawsuit, let alone one that's been won.
Well, there's videos that soft sits put up of themselves in court that they claim are wins. They'll say, "Oh, the judge left, and therefore they've abandoned ship, which means this admiralty court is adjourned," and they think they've won. And no, it's.
Well, I think they take it as a win if they don't get tased.
That's true.
I only know one thing, that is in Canada they have a legal term at courts. When somebody uses soft sit arguments, it's called OPCA, Organized Pseudo-Legal Commercial Arguments.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, that's something I gotta look up.
Kind of making your final judgment worse than if you did try nothing.
See, that I always wondered, when you're in IT and there's a problem going on that's obviously the result of the user, we'd call it an ID 10T error.
That's right.
And I've always wondered if cops, because cops have a code for everything that they do, I figured there has to be some kind of code for I'm dealing with a soft sit idiot. And OPC would answer that question.
That would be interesting.
Soft sit idiot strikes me as tautological as a construct.
Yeah, it is kind of serious overkill. Yeah. Or it's either that or redundant, one or the other.
Like describing something as tiny little.
Yeah. That was 5 words, guys. You cannot fall asleep inside 5 words. It just can't happen. Human.
Are you thinking you stopped the discussion again?
No. The people.
Are they yawning?
Clive Wells and Jessica G are
yawning. Yeah. I still want to know why that comes up as a. You have to approve that.
See, that's killing me. Like, imagine being a company that institutes an emoji. This is YouTube's emoji. They made it. It's in the system because they put it there, and they're saying, "Oh, this might be inappropriate."
Our shit's inappropriate. We have inappropriate shit.
Maybe it has been appropriated for mask freedom or something like that.
Wow.
Oh boy. All right. So I guess
we're ready.
We've got something lined up. But before we get to that, Stephen Company can join us. How are you today, sir?
I am good, man. How are you guys? Sorry I'm late.
No worries. Good to see you. Good to have you with us.
We're showing up late for the show. That means you get to clean the monkey cage tonight, buddy.
There you go.
I was going to say that's a paddling.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're steaming. We're about to go over some Sovsit nonsense. How do you feel about that?
Oh, great. The freaking monkey morons of society. Cool.
Oh, yeah. And this one's a special one. But we also have Professor Phil Bell just popped in.
Oh.
Yes. How do you do? I've got a whole bunch of students doing physics at the moment online, and I've given them some work to do, so I have a little bit of time, but I might have to jump off every now and then because they ask questions, so obviously they get priority.
Yeah.
So,
make sure that they stay awake, Phil. That's all.
You know, the thing about it is that I can't force them to use their cameras, so
yeah.
So God knows what they're doing when you know.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to use my camera, but they don't have to. So,
oh, really? You have to use your camera? Is that sort of a...
Well, that's sort of like the protocol, you know, because you know, they need to be able to see you and stuff, and I don't know.
They need to make sure nobody's going full on Tobin, right? So keep that camera on.
Anyway, they need to see my board from time to time, so it's handy, so it's okay. And they know if I've wandered off somewhere because they can't see me there, so they're not going to yell questions at nobody. So if they see my face there, then they usually yell their questions. But yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a rainy day, and they're busy.
Well, let's set a challenge. Let's see if I can get Professor Phil Bell to face palm in front of his students. Are we ready for this?
Oh, we're ready.
Oh, let's do it.
I've seen peer-reviewed papers that are very graphic and detailed about what they claim is this virus, right? As far as I can tell by reading the papers that I've read, there is no isolation of this virus. They've not isolated virus. They're dealing with this coronavirus that they're calling COVID-19, and this SARS-52 or whatever its proper name is. They haven't isolated it to prove that it exists. They're talking about it in a language that is like legalese, but they need to demonstrate proof that this thing actually does exist, and that's the key bit.
What?
No, I'm not going to listen to Sleepy Warrior explain to me what fucking legalese is.
Yeah,
no, I spent hours poring over your fucking infantile thesis statement that, you know, wouldn't pass in a high school. No, you're not going to tell me about legalese, fucker.
So here I have a classroom full of, a hall full of students who are there behind this damn screen instead of me being in front of them just because of this stupid virus, and then we hear that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it strikes me as sort of actually unfunny, right? I mean, you know, this guy sorry, every time I speak, I notice those yawn emojis coming up, and I just can't help but react to them. But you know, it's just it's not even it. You know, these people, what are they thinking? What's going on in their heads when they think, here's a virus that has killed hundreds of thousands of people in the US alone, and millions of people worldwide. Let's just pretend it doesn't exist. Let's make up some arbitrary standard for researchers who have kept us alive for centuries need to get past now to convince us that they know what they're talking about. Fuck you idiot.
Yeah, this guy is walking, talking bullshit in action, and he does it purely for the dollars that being a woo peddler can bring.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I don't believe Anthony for a second. Mike Bertelson, what's on your mind?
January 11th. That's when China released the data worldwide to every country and every health organization when they isolated COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2. And you cannot do vaccine trials without having an isolated virus to have a vaccine for. What kind of fucking idiot is he? Jesus Christ. I mean, this is the kind of shit that people run around saying, yeah, it's not real. It's not real. Let's not wear a mask. Oh, you died. That's why we've had as many deaths. We could have had much more without restrictions and precautions, but we could have had less if it weren't for idiots like this.
Yeah.
January 11th, everybody.
It just strikes me as, and why does this fucking idiot believe he has anything worthwhile to say about viruses?
Well, because he knows everything there's about virus
or gravity.
Density.
Oh, gravity or anything else? Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I'll give Anthony this. He at least knows what an egg is.
And salt.
Well, at least he's not going to starve, I suppose.
No, I actually want a demonstration. I want a stronger demonstration of that than is heretofore present. Because I think I think somebody just told him that was an egg, and he was just regurgitating it. It remains to be independently verified that he has this knowledge to hand repeatedly. I want to.
Well, I guess to be fair, we don't know that maybe his mom didn't tell him.
I'm not interested in being fucking fair to this guy. Actually,
I was actually being fair to you that it could have been his mom told him that morning, "This is an egg."
Yeah,
go do your little video.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Well, we have only seen the uploaded version and not the 95 takes before that.
Yeah. Good point. Good point, everybody.
All these unrecorded moments of Anthony going, "This is an apple." Oh shit!
Damn. Mom in the background.
Oh,
fucking idiot.
You're all being really unkind. His mum was stood behind the camera.
Does anybody here remember the goodies?
The goodies?
The television show. You remember when they used to do their baked beans ads, and the kid would always get it wrong, and the director would come in and beat them over the head or slap them or whatever. It wasn't a real kid. It was an actor playing a kid, but kind of funny and kind of similar. Get it right, pal. Anyway.
So I'm quite a bit older than Tony, and so I'm sort of hampered in a way because Tony can let loose with his prolific language and the like, and have a lot of fun with that. Whereas I'm from the old school where it was stiff upper lip and all of that sort of stuff was beaten into you, and I can't actually bring myself to use that stuff.
Yeah, I think it helps that I went to one of the poorest high schools in the state.
Okay.
So that probably helped a bit. But yeah, Clive Wells actually having brought up the goodies, one of the stars of the goodies was an actor by the name of Tim Brooke Taylor, who died as a result of COVID. So it's a real people are dying as a result of this. Can you get out of the fucking way and just let us solve the problem? And I apologize, Bill. I do realize, I used to feel a lot more self-conscious about using this language up until I was exposed to just how mendacious and cynical and malicious this is, right? Yeah. Here is Anthony Riley making money out of a completely malicious, murderous policy platform. He is out there trying to kill people.
So, Tony, please do not stop at all. I actually look up to you, to your ability to do that. So,
well, thank you.
I'd like to say fuck on that, but I mean, even just doing that took a lot of courage.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh yeah, don't worry. A little bit longer into this, and you get used to doing it.
I was just gonna say, hang out with us for a little while and watch how quick it comes to you, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, shall we?
Yeah, speaking of, should we?
A little bit?
Let's let Tony tell us a little more about things he knows nothing about.
Oh, this was from a three. Oh no, this was from a 3-hour stream.
The other Tony,
and I picked 2 decent bits from it.
Okay.
As far as I can tell so far, at the time of doing this is the 22nd of September. I don't know. I have not seen evidence that this thing has been isolated, that it actually exists. They talk about it. They describe how it seems to behave. Well, what is it? Because it seems like we're talking about, I don't know, Narnia again. It's like gravity. It's like, what? It doesn't really exist, does it? Come on. I just want to add that the coronavirus regs that are being implemented in London,
So here's my issue. He says, "Oh, it hasn't been. I haven't seen evidence that it's been isolated yet. It hasn't been proven to me." Well, like you just brought up, you also don't believe that the Earth is a sphere, which has been proven in basically every single way it possibly could be, but it's not good enough for you. So what evidence that COVID is real would be good enough for you, aside from it literally killing you?
Yep.
That's my question. Mike?
If you want evidence, see, one thing that is irrefutable and indisputable is excess mortality. Pretty much statistically, we know at any given week in a year in almost every developed country, how many people are going to pass from all causes. So when you start to have numbers above those expected values, especially like during flu season or some other, even during a pandemic, that's one of the ways epidemiologists can track what's going on. Well, if you look in the United States, because those are the numbers that I've been tracking, from March 29th or 28th to August 29th, over 200,000 excess deaths. Now, people, that's just a number to a lot of people, but in reality, that is a huge number. It's an unprecedented number in just 5 months. You would have to go back to 1918 to find that many deaths in such a short time. So if COVID didn't kill that many extra people, then what did? It isn't as if this is verifiable from multiple independent sources. I go to the CDC to get the numbers, but if I wanted to, I could go to each individual state's vital statistics websites and their COVID websites and get the same numbers, total them up myself to get the same thing the CDC is reporting. This is not, and I'm sure it's the same in the UK, it's the same in Europe, in the EU. So this is not hidden. This is verifiable data. So if COVID doesn't exist, what killed 1 million people worldwide?
I want to, and that's frustrating in and of itself. But the other side of it is gravity hasn't been proven. Really? Because we use the theory of gravity to locate mineral deposits. Submarines use the theory of gravity to locate obstructions on the sea floor and avoid them. We use the theory of gravity correctly all the time. We can actually observe by radar the distances to, say, Venus and Mars the sun or Mercury. We know, and we can reconcile those distances as a function of time using the theory of gravity. The idea that gravity has not been proven is a derangement of the first order. Anybody who feels comfortable saying that sort of nonsense in public is either a snake oil salesman, a lying sack of shit, or they're nuts.
I mean, for God's sake, Riley, plants can figure out gravity because they use it to know which way is up.
Yes.
Yep.
And not to mention that even if you only go back a century, there is literally tens of millions of pages of peer-reviewed published data on gravity alone, just in the last century. And it's probably arguably one of the most studied phenomena in the history of physics. So in order for you to say it doesn't exist, you would have to debunk all of that first. And what do you got? You got nothing except saying relative density and buoyancy, and that's it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say arguably. I'd say it definitely is the most studied.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys probably know that better than I am. I'm an engineer, so
the theory of general relativity has been validated over something like 48 orders of magnitude. It is just I've heard some stats on this. So the standard model of the atom, the standard model of quantum physics, has been validated through more experiments than humans have seen sunrises. General relativity isn't far behind as far as experimental and observational validation is concerned. These people just have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And if we again, he's adopting this bizarre definition of science that we have to prove everything to his satisfaction. No, you're a fucking idiot, Anthony Riley. And nobody cares what you think. Go off and urinate into another glass.
Do we want to see how much of an idiot he can be?
Yes,
is he going to get stupider?
Oh yes.
We should, but really quickly, we do have some housekeeping to do. I was told somewhere that we had a super chat to get caught up on.
We actually do, and I saved it for Matthew. Here we go.
Your pal Al said, change your name to Super Chat Mandalorian. TITW. What does that mean?
That's a good question. I don't know. Thank you very much.
That is the way.
There you go.
That's what I was saying. I don't know what it means, but I know that it is the way.
So I'd just like to add to what Tony said, and that is Riley and people like him and Oakley. You couldn't actually explain the evidence to them because they don't have enough background knowledge to actually understand the implications of it.
No,
right?
No, they don't. Okay,
but yeah,
so
that's like a big part of. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, shall we just roll on a little bit more and see where he goes?
Let's.
Well, really quickly, Ugly German Truce does have his hand up.
Oh yeah, go on.
Okay.
I just wanted to add one thing to what Mike just said about the excess deaths. They basically have proven that this method works because in spring, the British government tried to keep the number low by only counting people that had died in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And some doctors looked at these excess deaths and said, no, we are supposed to be somewhere in the region of 60,000 deaths, not 15,000. And it turned out they had kept silent about 35,000 or 40,000 people that died in senior residences.
Oh, wow.
And they had to admit these deaths afterward and correct the number. And through that, the excess death method has quasi been proven.
Yeah, the reality is, so in Australia, for instance, We had a lockdown. We're sort of just emerging. One of our states is just emerging from its most recent lockdown, quite slowly. But as a result, we don't have that many influenza deaths. Very few people have caught influenza this year because during influenza season, we were all locked down. So that's actually going to complicate our excess death calculation because normally we have some influenza deaths. But the reality is we're really not going to know the full cost of this for years, potentially decades. The full cost of this virus, because we don't know the long-term health effects. We don't know the effects on the circulatory system. There seems to be increased diabetes susceptibility, decreased lung performance as a result. There's all sorts of long-term consequences that probably will contribute to long-term mortality. I expect that the tail end of the excess mortalities is not going to drop off as soon as we develop a virus or whatever. It's going to continue for some time. The people who have caught it and recovered are actually going to die as a result of the long-term health effects of this. It's going to take a long time to get enough data to understand what has happened here. But you saying, and this again, when you talk to a fluffer about gravity, well, you needed to invoke dark matter to explain the motion of galaxies, and there's no quantum theory of gravity. Well, yes, that's right. These things are still under development. We need to know what dark matter is. We need to resolve all of it. But we don't answer every single question instantly all at once. And if we fail to answer that question, we don't go, oh, well, science to date is bunk, and throw it all away. That's not how science works. The idea that just because there are unanswered questions means that the theory can't be relied upon at all is egregious nonsense.
Yeah, very well said.
Awesome.
And
okay, so shall we move on, Kevin?
Once more, we had another super chat there. We'll get that, and then we'll go right back into it.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. We got a super chat. Yeah, there's a bug.
I'm not reading it.
Yes, you are.
Gordon Nielsen for 45 Danish crowns. Hashtag plants are smarter than flurfs. Change icon into gummy bear right now.
Matt, can I just say something to Matt?
What?
Sure.
We enjoy hearing from you more when you're cheerful.
Yeah.
When you're happier, we like it. Yeah. So.
Can you cheer up a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, should we get back to Anthony and his silliness?
Oh,
Sure.
yes, please. Yeah, this gets worse.
Everything that's been said in this show today with regards to like everything in the first half equally applies in Liverpool as it does in London, because it's the implementation by the police of the regulations or of the law that's the issue, not the person that's doing the protesting. So even though this is protesting in London, let me just point out something massive on them two pictures. Aside from the fact that one's in riot gear and there's on horseback, go to the other one, Roxanne. Make that as big as you can. Can you get that bigger?
For some reason, no. Sorry, that's as big as it goes.
Look at the fact that the cops are down on one knee. That submission is symbolic. It symbolizes that they are subservient to that group for some reason. Why? I do not know. But down on one knee is symbolic, guys. Wake up.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Wake up to what?
Right, he's trying to make out that this is Black Lives Matter rally where two of the coppers decided to kneel, like the footballers in England were kneeling as well, and that's subservience.
So because two guys made a subservient gesture, that means all of police are subservient to Black Lives Matter?
Does it really have any kind of a point whatsoever?
Not really.
No.
It never does with him.
I mean, that's just pointless even for Riley. I mean, he's out.
And that's
And a really,
and that's up
really-
against some pretty stiff competition.
That's right.
And a really quick like ADD-ish jump to a new subject the way he did that. Like, we're talking about the virus, and then there's these protests and these cops are subservient. And it's like, what are you talking about?
It's like, is this going somewhere? What the hell?
Yeah. Thank God.
Oh, man, good.
Did we get to maximum stupid?
We got to maximum
You got the
confusion.
maximum stupid the minute you loaded the video.
Well,
yeah, we definitely got to the maximum stupid there of Riley being a sovereign citizen now, alongside a flat earther and all the other stupid things he is.
Yeah.
Well, I do find it interesting that he's suddenly talking about this kind of stuff right around the time that Sovsit videos are trending on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
I could have swore, though, that he did say at one point in time that he wasn't monetized and wasn't going to be. Is there a way to check that?
Yeah. Just watch one of his videos in incognito, see if you get an ad.
Ah.
However,
Let's see. I'll do it right now while we're working along. Sorry.
Okay,
go ahead.
But I would point out that he does actually put down that people can donate to him on his through different sources like PayPal and whatever as a direct link rather than going through the Google system.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, he does monetize himself.
However, he is monetized though. If I opened up his channel, his intro has an ad. Also, don't put an ad on your intro, you dick.
Oh, you could control that. Huh.
Yeah. Because I turned off monetization for my channel trailer because it's a channel trailer. It's a minute and a half to get people watching. They're not going to get watching if they're watching a fucking ad.
The ad is the trailer.
I want to say something here. I now have a channel intro video, thanks to Jessica G. I didn't have one before, but she went and made an intro video for me. So there you go. Now I have one. It does not have any ads in it, however, because I'm not monetized because I suck. But anyway.
Oh, boy. Jessica G, sorry Tony, put my Wi-Fi to sleep. So
I saw that.
Yes, we love you. We really do.
How does somebody that funny not appear on just every live stream? Like, I will turn up to live streams just in the hope that she will comment on it. Somebody has to get her on so that she can be funny in real time. It's just amazing.
Oh, anyway. I can't tell you what to do next.
How Jessica can make a channel trailer for Tony if she never has seen a single video of his to the end.
I
mean, he drives her to sleep even with a single sentence.
Yeah, well, that helps that actually helps my metrics, right? Everybody falls asleep watching my videos and they can't click away, so they're compelled to watch through to the end. It increases my watch hours immensely. It's part of my subtle plan to eventually get to monetization.
You are amazing with your. You have an amazing imagination, Tony. I was just thinking you must have been an expert at dog eat homework and stuff like that.
Actually, I was not, but two of my siblings used the excuse that the goat ate their homework.
Well,
okay.
Because we had a pet goat, whom I didn't realize, but the goat was an extremely intelligent creature, but also utterly malicious, incapable of empathy for its fellow creatures. But it was an astonishingly intelligent individual. Clive Wells says, "Not this anecdote again." I have barely scratched the surface of my goat anecdotes, Clive Wells. Trust me. Yeah.
All right. Well, what do we think for another video, folks? I'm gonna shout out some titles here, and let's see if anything jumps into people's faces here. We've got Get Your Ass with Zeds to Mars. I got KO'd. Time to Get Back Up.
What?
No Gravity, No Globe. Demo Relative Density on Flat Earth. Ugh.
Demo.
Part 2, the Panamud Canal Flood Conspiracy and Cover Up. One that's just called Signs of Weird, which is interesting. One called The Big Red Pill Most Red Pillars Cannot Swallow Because They Refuse to Accept It. Wakey Wakey. And then we have the very last one on this list is Weather Modification Questions.
I was curious about the Panamud story last week, and we didn't watch it. So maybe go to part 2.
Let's just assume that there was nothing worth watching in part 1 and just go straight to part 2.
One of those Kill Bill kind of things.
Yeah. Actually, Cheese, are you still there? Cheesemondo.
Yep, I'm still here.
Check. Was that that one run on uncalled for?
No, we didn't get to it.
Cool. Okay, we can do the Panamud.
All right, mud flood time, everybody.
I always find this fascinating.
Get your britches and your ground floor windows ready.
Oh yeah.
I got on my rubber underpants.
Yep. I wish we had a blue marble science here right now because face palm protection is definitely going to be required. Ladies and gentlemen, Panamud.
Let's light this dumpster fire.
In part 1, we asked the question, why was there a large river crossing over Nicaragua on a handful of old maps and an encrypted Masonic drawing, while the rest of the map showed no crossing there and were much more truthful to the topography today? Only after...
That's my face. That's my face right there. How the fuck do you encrypt a drawing? Is this contact?
Well, you know, the Masons were into steganography in 1307.
That's a very technical reference.
And I mean, maps from that period are notoriously well known for being accurate.
Oh, yeah.
What was that about California being an island for over 100 years?
And bigger than most of the rest of the United States, I think, too.
Oh, boy. Aimee, looks like we got a super chat there.
Yes, we did, please.
Morten Nielsen.
Be nice.
Morten Nielsen for 45 Danish kroner. I always find this fascinating. Translation, this is gonna be dumb AF. Could you stop and change your icon to gummy bears so I can see it right now, please?
Thank you very much.
Matt, his avatar are 5 gummy bears in a pony suit.
That's right.
Oh yeah, we'll change your name into Awesome German Truths.
Awesome German Truths.
Oh boy. All right, should we let this go on? No, I just wanted to express that I was thoroughly confused by the notion of an encrypted drawing.
Yeah. And I think you should do him for actually using your face. Okay, moving on.
Publishing the video, did the thought cross my mind? If you were a controlling world power like Spain and a world-round dominant merchant superpower precursor to the Dutch East Indies Company or the likes, would you tell your competitors you knew a shortcut from the Atlantic to the Pacific through Central America? Or would you keep it a secret? I did admittedly make one vital mistake in part 1 by saying you cannot today sail from the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Gulf, known as the Eastern Sea, to Lake Nicaragua, as the San Juan River did not seem a viable sailing route from the lake to the eastern sea gulf. I was actually both wrong and correct, and despite the film getting 25,000 views with 1.5 thousand likes and 31 dislikes, above average for our usual 95 to 100% average, I did get attacked in the comments sections.
Why are we looking at his site statistics?
I just want to point out that like percentages don't really mean anything, though, because the majority of people who are watching your content want to watch your content. The majority of people who dislike it don't hit dislike; they just leave. It's the same thing as when you're working at a restaurant and you get a complaint and you have to realize that that complaint equals 10 complaints that nobody ever mentioned. So his like to dislike ratio is worthless. I have my own videos that my subs say, this was not a good video. You didn't do enough research. This wasn't very well done. And it still has a 90% like ratio because my fans like me.
Yeah.
So yeah, your statistics aren't really meaningful.
Yeah, that's right. The people who tune into videos aren't, well, they don't mean what you're trying to assert them to mean. Obviously, the people who watch your videos regularly like your videos. That's why they watch them regularly. It's completely, it's it's a weird form of argument from authority, right? This video got a lot of likes and very few dislikes. Therefore, this video must be right. No, that's not true at all. I watched a video of Ernie singing I Don't Want to Live on the Moon the other day, and I liked it. But that doesn't mean I think that it's a documentary about moon travel or living on the bottom of the ocean. No, I just like the song in the movie, the song in the video. It's a spurious attempt at appeal to authority.
In fact, I just figured out the perfect way to explain it. XKCD did a comic on the problem with review systems. Here's what you got. So imagine you've got a tornado warning app, right? And it's got three reviews. The first review says, great app, lots of settings to customize. The second review says, great app, didn't drain my battery. The third review says, did not warn me of tornado. Overall rating, 4 stars.
Right. Yes, that's right. And
so yeah, dude, your stats really don't mean anything, buddy. Should we let him keep going?
Yeah, I just want to point out something on the screen which I was lucky enough to stop on that Illuminati confirmed. One of your videos had 333 views.
To ask a few honest questions.
How dare you?
By a small percentage of
he kept scrolling and I saw a video with 1 view and a video with 0 views. How is that possible? Like, did I really see that? Are we able to go back and check?
Oh, let me see. Hold on. Yeah.
If not, it's fine. I'm pretty sure I saw. All right. Let's see here.
Maybe hidden from view.
It could be an unlisted video. That's possible.
Yeah.
Move. Oh, there you go. 0 views.
0, but still a high. Still 367 likes. What?
What?
Wow.
What is happening there?
That is weird.
I think something's wrong.
Yeah, that's not possible.
When everybody turns around and says the YouTube algorithm is broken. Evidence.
Like, the closest I've ever seen to that is occasionally when I upload a video, I'll go and watch it first just to make sure the upload worked properly. And when I do that, I'm so close to the upload time that it'll say 0 views, 2 likes. And it's just that things haven't caught up yet. But 367 likes?
He's buying likes.
Tina Jones points out that it might have been made private later.
But would that take away its view count?
But I want to latch on to the issue that Woden Toad latched onto, which was that just after the video of Greta Thunberg, could you go up to the immediately subsequent image? So he shows Greta Thunberg saying, "How dare you?" What comes immediately? Yes, that image right there. Now that to me shows a vastly more sociopathic outlook, right? It's not, that is not funny. That is not lighthearted. That is not in any way amusing. That shows a deeply disturbed mindset. And it shows a grotesque ignorance of the threat that anthropogenic climate change presents to human civilization. But I regard, regardless of his like to dislike ratios or his like to view ratios on his videos, that to me right there, that image distills what this guy is: a disgusting waste of biomass. Yeah. So maybe I should finish ranting. There are people who are perhaps coma liable in the chat, and I should spare them.
I will say I agree with you, though. I've rarely seen proper criticism of that young lady. Because here's the thing, I'll go ahead and say it myself. I might get crucified for doing this. I don't really think a little girl should be the authority on climate change either. But when I see people complain about her, they're not complaining about what she's saying. They're complaining about who she is. And it's really gross. Yeah.
The sad fact is that, the sort of, Phil alluded to this earlier. He doesn't feel comfortable using using profanity, but he's an old school scientist. He doesn't feel comfortable presenting stuff in the way I feel that it needs to be presented. The risk presented to us by anthropogenic climate change is likely to cost hundreds of millions of lives at a minimum, right? At a minimum, it will cost hundreds of millions of lives. Scientists aren't comfortable getting up and saying that, and they say, well, it presents a serious risk. We should take this seriously, blah, blah, blah. This is, even as it stands, even if we act perfectly from now on, hundreds of millions of people are going to die as a result of anthropogenic climate change. It's weird that it takes somebody like Greta Thunberg to stand up and make people pay attention. But she's very effective at making people pay attention, because when I say it, really nobody pays attention. I'm not on news. I'm not on anything. I'm not on any platforms, but she is, and good for her.
Yeah. Well, can we? I'm sorry. Can we move on with the video really quickly? Yes. More than anything, just to get that image off screen.
Yeah.
Percentage of cancel culture internet underwear jockeys, who I will not shame on screen, saying that I was retarded for not noticing the obvious San Juan River that is still there today.
How dare you!
So I dug deeper to correct my folly, and what I discovered lends more credence to the 200-year mud flood cycle evidence. So in order to thank them, we are opening up a Space Buster strip club for them called Bolsheviksons. They pay a $20 entry charge and $50 at their table, and the stranger 2 tables over gets a large beer and a private...
Fuck this video. Fuck this video and fuck this guy.
What is he talking about?
Well, he's referencing the Bolshevik Revolution, right? Do you know why the Bolshevik Revolution is significant to conspiracists?
No, actually, I don't.
Jews.
Because they believe Jews perpetrated it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
So I guarantee he's only bringing that up as a nod to that. So fuck this guy. I don't even want to deal with fucking Nazis.
No, I don't want to put this out to a vote. Like, this guy is sufficiently noxious that, and the very existence of the term mud flood in his video, really, I have to devote energy to dispelling the idea that there was a mud flood at some, a global mud flood at some time in the past, 200 years, 400, 500 years, whatever. Screw your mud flood video. Fuck off. I don't care. And a lot of love for Greta Thunberg in the side chat, and I'm grateful for that because really it shouldn't take her to get us to pay attention that climate change is a threat. And the fact that people are picking on her, I really think it is incredibly despicable that she decides to act, and we decide, and my generation. I feel like I'm personally responsible for the actions of a lot of old white guys because I am an old white guy, and and I am ashamed to be an old white guy simply because we are such dicks as a general rule. When you're talking to somebody of my ethnicity, my nationality, and my economic background. God damn it! There's another person falling asleep in the chat. We are universally dicks, and we need to get over ourselves and stop being dicks.
And Tony, really quickly, just to let you know, we're getting a sound of like something's hitting your mic or something close to your mic is getting hit, and it's making a lot of noise.
Okay, sorry.
That's
okay,
right.
So I've got another video in this list, which is very, very fresh. I'm going to put that one up because somebody's made a trip to Greenville. He's gone to the Oktoberfest. So I'm not going to say who.
Well,
but I'm going to put this one next.
Before we do have a super chat to get caught up with there.
Yes, please. We have a super chat. Want to read that for Mama?
Dave Anson for $5 said, Greta never claimed to be an expert on climate change. All she does is ask us to listen to experts.
That's right.
And also, change your name to Doc Hudson.
Oh, jeez. Thank you very much. And yes, I did want to say that this guy is a pile of garbage that made this last video. What a scum. And that's been most of everyone's complaints about Greta Thunberg is that she, is her autism. Even the president said she needed to take anger management classes. And it's like, can I just slap them, please? Or at least stuff a dead raccoon in their faces? It's like, God.
So you can slap the president all you want.
Strike to death. If you hold a raccoon in anybody's face, make it a living one.
Oh God, it is difficult.
It's a dead raccoon.
It is difficult for me to participate in the conversation whilst the chat are piling on, but their criticisms are well placed. But as I want to supply my answer to the question that was supplied to Dick Dawson. Who would I like to meet and why? I would most like to meet Oliver Stone so I could kick him in the nuts.
Was JFK that bad?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I left JFK with a headache, a severe headache, and I feel like I owe him some pain in return. That him and Haneke, the guy who made Funny Games, he's the other person I'd like to kick in the nuts.
I'm imagining you kicking Oliver Stone in the nuts and him falling down and going, oh, back into the left.
Back into the left. Back into the left.
Oh boy. I see another super chat there as well. Aimee?
Yes, please.
And Annie, this is the last one. Stop it.
No.
If you don't, I'm gonna block you.
Listen,
Can you please multiply that by 2? Do the next super chat for times 2. Double it. Double the super chat. Double the
$14.32.
what? 66 cents. PhD Tony. Why do I hate decks? Wish I had a nice deck in my backyard. Hail Satan!
Oh. Sorry, it's $13.32.
Earbud.
No, nobody is asleep anymore.
No.
We've even woken up Jess.
That's right.
Okay, so shall we see who next is on the agenda?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's got to be better than that.
Oh,
yeah. Who is next on the agenda? Let me pull the list back up here.
Sorry, Kevin.
No. I didn't realize I had closed the list.
Number two.
Number two. Burger King foot lettuce. Okay. I got KO'd. Time to get back up.
Yep.
All right.
You're gonna hate me. You really are gonna hate me.
Number 2 sounds so promising.
Chris Upton, first in the house. Chris Upton, first in the house. I got a medical exemption. She goes, that doesn't count here. I go, it's like
from Last American Hero. American Hero.
No, I was trying to see if I could use the speed up on the video thing in OBS, and it's not doing what I want it to do. So I'm gonna have to have a word with media creator and see if I can fix that. But
so I didn't just have a mild stroke.
No, you're all right.
Okay. Second of all, it's fucking Flat Earth Fokker, who's an embarrassment to my country. I hate this guy.
He's an embarrassment to humanity.
He's
in Greensville. He's in Greensville. Just revoke his passport. You'll never get back home.
Now's the time. I got a right to Trudeau. All right. Well, should we figure out what this is actually about?
Yes.
Oh, Mike's gonna love it.
She's like, we don't take medical exemption. Doesn't work in here. I talked to the girl at check-in. She's like, I don't know what you said to her, but that's what you said to her. I go, she was gonna communicate with you. She goes, it doesn't work here. She goes, put on a mask or get off the fucking plane. And dude, like. Then later on, I was drinking my coffee, staring out the window, and then she comes up to me. She goes, put on the mask. That's the second time. We're going to escalate this. She goes, don't make me escalate it. You're not going to get on your next flight, and you're going to be banned from the airline, United. And then I fucking seriously had a fucking panic attack, and I seriously was feeling so fucking depressed. Yeah, they forced me to submit at the last minute with a lineup behind me. She's like, you want to get off?
You panicked. You did not have a panic attack. You know what causes a panic attack? Literally anything. You know what causes a normal person to panic? A stressful situation. That's what happened to you.
I doubt he was panicked anyway. He was pushing his agenda.
Did you just call for a normal person?
Physiologically. That we know of.
Oh dear God. What's the big deal? I mean, it isn't as I can't imagine that he has any medical condition that would cause him to that would be a mask. Wearing a mask would be a problem, because if he had that sort of medical condition, he probably shouldn't even be traveling, let alone flying in an airplane.
This guy's already made it clear to Canadian authorities that he's able to wear masks and just refuses. The dude's been on the news. People know who he is.
He's also done videos where he's worn a mask and he's gone into hospitals to see if anybody is actually sick. Remember that video?
Right.
He was wearing a mask in that. He could do it when it suits him. Fucking lying sack of shit.
I loved that video because he said he was in the hospital searching for the truth about COVID. So like, I imagine him like searching the corridors looking for like a room that's full of barrels labeled toxic that says like COVID injections from the government.
Oh wow!
Like, what did he expect to find? I don't get it.
So is he like stuck in was it South Carolina right now? Is that did he get kicked off the plane?
I thought
no,
did
he
he
didn't
get on?
He actually got there. No, he did get.
Did
there.
he ever get on a flight?
Yes,
he did. Okay.
Yeah, he's there. He's just complaining about the fact that he had to wear a mask on the plane. He even gave up. He was told. He says he was bullied into wearing one, and so much so that he was crying when he was putting it on.
Oh dear God!
It's almost like it's a pressurized tube where you're stuck breathing other people's air for hours, and a mask would be a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. It is. Good God.
Well, no. When I first joined the military, the Air Force, we still allowed smoking on aircraft, and believe me, those things were toxic, right? The air filtration system was absolutely covered in nicotine, and it goes from the front of the aircraft to the back of the aircraft, and it just keeps recycling it, right? So let's put it this way: wear a damn mask.
Did you join Colin the military or the Air Force? Just the Veterans Week.
British Luftwaffe, meine.
So there. Yeah, I was on submarines, and I was actually part of. They did this what they called an expired breath test. They brought on special bottles of filtered air that we had to breathe in from and breathe out through these special Draeger tubes, like several times during the patrol. They found organic compounds they didn't even have names for yet, and it was kind of weird because now there's this whole naming convention for organic molecules, so that some of these names were like a line long in the report. And I was on a submarine, so that is definitely all filtered air, kind of hard to get air in from the outside, so it's all recirculated. It is the same thing on an airplane. It's a closed system when you're at altitude. There's no new air getting in. It's all the same filtered stuff, just like on Colin's plane that he was on. So what is the big deal with a mask? It's not like it interferes with anything. I saw this meme the other day with guys wearing these big heavy gaiters and other masks while they're skiing and snowboarding. Got no problems with that. Heavy duty latex Halloween masks, got no problem with that. A little blue freaking surgical mask, and people are losing their fucking heads running around with hairs on fire.
But Mike, it's mildly inconvenient.
Yeah.
That's basically, it's like people who are anti-mask is like the definition of first world problems.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's probably the best definition I've heard of it. It really is.
Yeah, you can't be breathing hot air back into your own lungs now, can you? Really?
Yeah.
There are cities in Southeast Asia, large areas of Southeast Asia where they wear masks by routine in order to protect themselves from pollution.
Yes.
The idea that we need to wear masks to protect other people from a deadly pathogen doesn't seem like. Clive Wells says, "Sorry, I've just woken up." Okay. Thanks, Clive.
I've
Jessica
spent.
apparently is taking her life in her hands whenever she picks up a knife, and I might talk, but I'll continue anyway. But it doesn't seem like that big a sacrifice to make sure the people around me are safe.
Yeah, and these guys complain about CO2 and all this other stuff. That's just bullshit too. And I've literally spent 10 hours in a dual HEPA filtered full face respirator wrapped in plastic because I was in a contaminated area, radiologically contaminated area, doing work for 10 hours. And I know guys do this kind of stuff all day long. Surgeons have masks on for 10, 12, 14 hours at a time while they're working on inside your body. They don't pass out. What the fuck's the problem? I just don't understand the thinking. And Kevin's right. It's inconvenient. I don't wanna.
Like, just be happy that you can go outside and get the things you need and come home alive.
Yes.
Like, we've really lost sight of how easy we have it in the first world and in the West in general. Like, it's just a mask. It's a piece of fabric over your face. It will never ever be a big deal unless you make it one.
Yes.
And there's a really good video out there that shows that if everybody wears a mask that's even only 50% effective. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like an N95. It could be a homemade cloth mask that fits fairly decently. If everybody wore that, then there's like a 66% reduction in your transmissibility of this virus. It doesn't even have to be anything fancy, and people don't have to walk around in full face, HEPA filter respirators. Just a simple little cloth mask you make at home, and that's good enough. And if everybody did that, we could reduce the spread to almost nothing.
Yeah. You know what? I swear, more conspiracists just need to work a blue collar job. Like, because I did work with a restoration company for a long time, and there was periods where I'd go into a black mold filled house, and we'd wear a mask because you kind of have to. And then one day we didn't have enough, and I was only a temp at this place, so they said, "Okay, stay outside of the house and move all the garbage to the dumpsters when we bring it out to you, because we can't have you in there." And eventually there was not enough for me to do, that I just kind of came in and started helping. And by the end of the day, after breathing it for like 4 hours, I'm coughing constantly because of the shit in my lungs. And a fucking basic mask would have prevented it.
Yep. Little dust mask.
Yep. Cheesemondo, go ahead, man.
Sorry, I almost didn't unmute myself. It just pisses me off that you get these guys turning up these anti-mask rallies with AR-15s. They're not complaining that their body armor is constraining their chest from moving, but you can't trust them to wear a mask. We should trust them with AR-15s, but they won't put a piece of paper on their face for us.
Exactly.
I mean, the thing about masks is that they're actually not that comfortable. I mean, you can get used to them, but they're not actually natural things to wear. That's fine, particularly in hot weather. They're not particularly comfortable. But you do it just because. I mean, I work in an office that is next to my PhD supervisor, who is in his 80s. And what I live in dread of is I take public transport to work. So I am quite exposed to sort of, the general public. What I live in dread of is infecting him and killing him. And I don't want to do that. I'll wear a mask all day long if it reduces the chance of that happening. And I don't care about the cost as far as I'm concerned. I'm more concerned for my supervisor's well-being than I am for my own comfort. It's just not, it doesn't compare. Somebody else's life my comfort.
Right. And the other thing to consider too, okay, you could talk about what the mortality rate is and your probability of living, and you're younger, so your probability of living if you get infected is higher. But there's also another cost to this. There are long-term effects. You have long haulers who have an average age of about 40, and they make up about 10% of those infected, that have been in and out of the hospital literally for months with fatigue issues, breathing issues, cardiac issues, and they don't recover. You have children with multisystem inflammatory syndrome. You have people that have wind up with organ damage and blood clots and strokes. And this comprises nearly 30% of those infected. So you have not only a 2 to 3% chance of dying, but you also possibly have a 30% chance of having long-term effects, which then may kill you a year or two down the road. And people don't want to hear that part. All they keep focusing us on is, oh, well, if you're under 40, you have a 99% chance of living. Well, fuck you. There are a lot of people that are under 40 that have comorbidity.
0%,
even know it.
0% chance of surviving because they didn't. The entire argument against masks is just absolute nonsense.
It is.
I cannot stress this enough. If you are not prepared to wear a mask to protect the people around you, then you are dead weight fucking social loss, and we are better off without you. So piss off.
I had a guy who used to be a friend on Facebook tell me that it was his right to not wear a mask if he didn't want to, and if you're at risk, you should stay home and protect yourself so he could do what he want. He literally said that it was up to the other guy to protect himself, not him, and he should be able to go out and not wear a mask whenever he wants because it's his right. Well, your right ends when it affects my fucking life, and why should I give up my freedom because you're an asshole?
Phil Bell points out people having cancer treatment and have practically no immune system. Because chemotherapy or radiation therapy, basically they're trying to kill your immune system so that your immune system doesn't kill you. But as a result, you become susceptible to other infections. Phil, you are still a member of the chat, so you can say this stuff out loud rather than typing it into the chat stream if you prefer. But
I think we have a super chat to get caught up on there. Aimee.
Thanks.
Yes, NANA for $6.66 said, I wear a dual chamber respirator at works for a few hours a day, 5 days a week for the last 17 years with no issues. Hail Satan!
Oh, goodness. There goes my hearing in that ear.
Carry on, Phil.
Okay, so I was going to say that, yes, I
there was a second super chat. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, no. Sorry, Phil.
Yes. Jessica G for $2 said, Matt plus 2 gummy bears equals fake, not real equals fake. Stop saying fake, start saying real, stop saying fake, start saying real.
Oh, that's enough. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. Phil Bell, go ahead.
Okay, so I was going to say that yes, I realize I could probably say it aloud, but I'm scared of making a mistake with this mic thing because I've got students over there, and I could easily get these two mics mixed up, and then there could be all sorts of trouble. A confusion, put it that way.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
That's a good read. Clive Wells has started a hashtag in the side chat, start censoring PhD Tony. But I noticed that Ugly German Truth has his hands up.
Yes,
he does.
Yeah, it's not just the medical consequences. All these people that are crying loud about not wearing masks are also the same ones that cry loud that we should reopen the economy and all, which would only function if we did all wear masks. They cannot do the thing not wearing masks and then want that everything goes as it has ever.
Yes, exactly.
That's such an excellent point. I mean, buying masks actually stimulates the economy, right? We all go out, we buy masks, we employ people who make masks. We engage in anti-COVID practices. This actually increases the people who are employed to make this stuff. Sorry, whoever that was.
I have masks on my Teespring. Buy one.
Yeah, there you go. We have Roar on YouTube, and I can't tell you the number of videos there are out there to allow you to make your own mask. And if you have a problem with one, if it isn't comfortable, doesn't fit, there's one out there that tells you how to fit it to you so that you can have a nice little comfy mask to wear whenever you want to. You don't even have to be able to sew. There are no sew masks out there. They're not as reliable, and they don't fit as well. And then they give you all of the instructions to be able to sew it yourself. I've sewed several, a couple for myself, a couple for my wife, for my daughter. They're easy. So you can get one that fits comfy rather than just having to throw on this little blue, surgical mask you picked up in a box of 100 somewhere. There's no excuses.
There really isn't. All right. Well, screw Flat Earth Fokker. I think we have just enough time to start one other video, don't we?
I think so.
Colin?
Yep. Yeah, no problem. I was just thinking we'll give him the perennial Fucker.
That's what we needed.
Yeah,
okay, we've had a couple of COVIDs. How about a flat Earth one?
Oh,
well, funny you should say that.
Oh yeah. Let me just jump to that and set that up. So
good. Because we've got one that we did a little bit of editing to, because quite frankly, the original language used in the video is disgusting.
Oh, yes.
And we're about ready for it now. So,
all right.
Yeah, this is how somebody could sound if you take the smut out and the shit out of his mouth.
Well, isn't that just fitting? So, as we've got Melinda Gates, the thing that is married to the loving, cohorting Bill Gates, worshiping a globe, as they tell you there will be a reckoning for the quote-unquote disinfo being passed around about COVID. Disinfo like what? Like you need to wear a mask like an idiotic monkey moron in order not to catch COVID.
I so want to bitch slap him.
Hey, Pratt, show me a monkey that's smart enough to wear a mask. Like, nothing you're saying makes sense. It's just the angry ramblings of this fucking moron tied to his water heater, just emanating that incel dick energy. I can't fucking stand it.
Well, that was not the point I thought you were going to make. The point I thought you were going to make was the masks aren't there to protect you, dickhead. They're there to protect other people. Wear the fucking masks if because you may be an asymptomatic carrier. You may not have any idea that you're infected, but you may be killing the people around you. And that should fucking terrify you.
A pre-symptomatic too is there's a lot more of those running around.
Yep.
But we should ask Steaming. He'll tell you what the rules are in Vietnam.
Oh yeah, they don't take no crap here. If you don't wear a mask, you are instantly fined. If you make somebody sick because you didn't wear a mask, you're spending the next 10 years of your life in prison. And you better hope to hell that son of a bitch don't die, because then you're in a whole heap of shit. As a matter of fact, if you refuse to wear a mask openly and fight against it, if you're a foreign national, you're deported. You're gone. There's no discussion. There's no but no appeal. No, you're fucking gone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Period. Next flight out.
In fact, I mean, if you and if you want to take it to the next extreme example, Pratt, you could be living somewhere like North Korea where they have almost no COVID because they just shoot everyone who gets it.
Exactly. They don't screw around with that shit here.
Seriously?
Who is that directed towards?
To you about North Korea. Do they really kill people that get COVID?
I've heard that's true, that they have very, very low rates of COVID, not just because they're a rogue state with basically no immigration, but because they will just take people who are sick and shoot them and throw them in a mass grave.
Yeah, they'll shoot them publicly for a hell of a lot less.
Yeah. So yeah, this seems a little bit. That wouldn't seem out of character at all.
No. And the thing is, all this bullshit about masks, it's exactly what it is. It's just fucking toddler level temper tantrum fucking bullshit. Okay? They've been wearing masks here in Asia for eons. When I first came to Vietnam 17 years ago, everybody was wearing a mask on a daily basis just to protect themselves from the pollution when they're driving.
Yeah.
You know? Just to protect themselves from the pollution. It's just a normal thing of life here in Asia, and that's why we've got some of the lowest COVID numbers on the planet. And life here is pretty much back to normal.
Yes. So should we see if this idiot's going to make a point? Oh wait, Aimee.
Yep. Before we do, I think we have another super chat there.
No, actually, just wanted to say, if I can get Matthew to wear a mask without complaints, and anybody can wear a mask. We wear them all the time. He's got one of his favorites with sheep all over it. Can wear one. Thank you. So we have different ones. We have fun with it. He has a.
I don't think I saw a super chat.
No, we didn't, honey. I'm just trying to make a point.
That was my mistake, Matt.
Yeah. Mine has flowers on it. His has sheep. So we have fun with it. You can wear a mask. It's not a big deal. It's not taking away
We
freedoms.
have a 100%.
That's right. So.
Indeed. So should we let Pratt yell a little more, or what are we doing?
See if this rant is going somewhere.
Yeah. That goes a little bit further, I suppose. So a little bit more.
All right.
It is people like this genius, not that genius, this genius. Look at the NASA fanboy with his little propaganda globe next to all his Star Wars fanboy memorabilia, and out.
Fuck you, Pratt. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Keep going without a mask, Pratt. Wait till your fucking kids get sick because of you. You'll have nobody to blame for but yourself.
I just want to point out his complaining about the fanboying. Hey, Pratt, so here I have this lovely cardboard model of the Space Shuttle Discovery. You know why I have that? Because it annoys people like you. It's all on purpose, dude. Like my channel name, my avatar is all meant to troll flat earthers. We do it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And he took it hook, line, and sinker, lock, stock, and barrel. Because he's an idiot.
Absolutely.
I
did a Kerbal Space. Oh, sorry.
Dumb fucks like Pratt have no fucking clue that it's because of them that the U.S. is still under lockdown after all this time. You guys should be heading back to normalcy by now.
Yes, you're exactly right. in this attitude, and the COVID parties and the B&B rentals for having huge gatherings. Those are the reasons we're spiking. Those are the reasons that we can't fully open our economy. Not because of the politicians, it's because people are freaking idiots.
The U.S. has one of the best medical systems in the world, medical care of the highest order. And yet third world countries like Vietnam have bitch slapped COVID down to nothing. And you guys are still in isolation. I wonder why.
Danny Pratt.
Don't get me started.
Please, Tony, go for it.
Go.
Okay, so well, if we're going to go on about the American health system, America currently ranks 38th in the world in terms of life expectancy. Of the top 30 countries in the world, all bar one have socialized healthcare, and that one is at number 30. That's Chile. So socialized healthcare, and all of those countries spend less than half. Well, actually, all of the countries in the top 10 spend less than half what the US spends on healthcare. So socialized healthcare is cheaper. It's more effective. It's more efficient. An estimated somewhere between 10 to 40,000 people die in the US each year because they have inadequate access to healthcare. The US healthcare system has the most advanced healthcare technology in the world, but you have a mortality rate that is significantly higher than most other civilized countries because you don't allow it to be used by people who need it. You don't apply preventative healthcare to people who need it. So you only start treating them as soon as they start dying, at which point it's expensive and too late. Your entire fucking healthcare system is upside down, and it desperately needs to be socialized. Healthcare insurance. Thank you, Clive Wells. Healthcare insurance needs to be socialized. It's just better for everyone. Please do it. Please vote for it. Please.
Tony, as much as I agree, I think if we could do it all without ever saying the word socialized, we might get away with it, because Americans hear that and they just immediately tense up.
They may do, but they need to grow up, because your currency is socialized. Your justice system is socialized. Your police system is socialized.
Education.
Education is socialized and should be more socialized than it is.
Yes.
Socialism of particular markets is necessary where the markets don't function properly under a private enterprise model. Healthcare is one of those. The judiciary is one of those. Currency is one of those. So where private enterprise cannot provide appropriate incentives, that market needs to be socialized. It's just a tool. We use it all the time. There's plenty of stuff that we socialize. Healthcare is one of those things that should be socialized. And I don't care enough about the sensibilities of people who are offended by this term to actually modify the way I refer to it.
Mike,
Aimee has.
Well, let's go to Aimee first. So, because I just think she's going to do a super chat.
Yes, please. Thanks. We just have a super chat real fast.
Warren Nielsen for 45 Danish krona set, and all the dumb flurves eat it raw. It's quite entertaining, really, unless it's Pratt. That's just way over the limit stupidity. Now, change that cunt to gummy bear right now.
Oh boy!
Okay. All right,
Mike?
so to come back at you a little bit there, Tony. Yeah, I agree with you to a point, though. You really have in the healthcare system in the United States and the life expectancy of the United States. Part of that is driven by people like Pratt, who have a distrust of establishment, won't go to doctors, won't seek help till it's too late. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you have people who are regular users of a healthcare system, and they're not going to. You have to tailor this socialized idea to how Americans think. And one of the things you got to keep in mind is that we don't like to be told what doctors we can see, when we can see them, and when we can have procedures done, and by whom. The big thing here is, if I want a particular doctor, like I need a hip replacement, and there's one particular doctor I want to do it, and I will wait till I can get him to do that. And then
but that's not sorry to interrupt you, Mike.
No,
but I live under a socialized medical system, and I get free choice of doctors to perform procedures. So I'm not sure what your point is.
Well, I had a friend who, because my company works in the UK, and so when he was over there working for my company, he was using their healthcare system, and he had his kid needed some particular surgery to his heart. He had to wait, several months to get it done. And that's the kind of thing in the United States that is hard for a lot of people to swallow. My point is not necessarily that the system won't work. It's that you have to keep the American mindset in mind when you're trying to make it work. If you see what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Mike, if I can just interject there with that.
Sure.
We still have the insurance side on medical care in the UK.
Right.
So if your friend had medical insurance, he could still force the issue and go that direction, as well as having the social system. We actually have a 2-tier system over here. We've got social for everybody, and we've got insurance if you've got the option.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how it worked, because I know here, my company, I have health insurance through one of the carriers, United Healthcare, but it's really, my company is self-insured. So I'm not sure what the difference was when because he was over in the UK for probably 2 years, working on the Dreadnought class submarine. And so I'm not really sure how that worked for him and how he was subject to different medical systems. But I agree with Tony that there has to be a better way to do this, because the current healthcare systems, the Affordable Care Act, commonly known as Obamacare, didn't do anything to address the real problem of healthcare, and that's the cost, because that's what keeps most people from getting healthcare.
So, I just want to generalize this. I just want to bring out some of the factors. So, for instance, in my country, we pay a Medicare levy, which I think is 1% or 2% of our income, and we can take private health insurance in addition to that, and indeed we are encouraged to. It lowers your tax rate. It has a number of other benefits, but basically the cost of a medical procedure with private health insurance is about the same that it would be with health insurance generally. It's just that with health insurance you just get better conditions. You get your own room if you're in hospital, whereas otherwise you're in a public hospital and you'll get thrown into a ward with other people. There's still a private health insurance option, but nobody has a disincentive to go receive preventative healthcare treatment. Mm-hmm. And in the US, that actually is a serious problem. You don't get enough preventative healthcare, and so people don't get. As soon as it becomes life-threatening, suddenly you're entitled to it. You may end up hugely in debt as a result of it, but they will give you the health care on credit if your life is under threat. Well, it would have been much cheaper to intervene, say, 5 years ago and give them the necessary treatment to prevent this from becoming life-threatening. So as a result, you guys, the average cost of healthcare in the US is something like $9,300 per person per year.
Okay, Tony, I'm really sorry to cut you off, but for the last 4 minutes, we've been trying to wrap up. This would be a great conversation to take to the after show.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
No worries. And since we have such little time, really quickly, anybody who has some last minute shilling, anything they want to do, anything they want to say about Pratt, about the shit we've watched today, what do you guys think?
Pratt's an idiot.
Can I just say quickly what my little 2 bobs worth on there?
Yeah.
The thing about that, what happens over time, and it certainly happened for us, in our country, probably since about 1972. Where there's been an overwhelming mindset in our country that every life is worth the same as another life, and therefore we all work by the premise that, but for the grace of God, go I, and therefore we look after each other from that point of view.
That's damn good, I'd say. Anyway, I've got a little message for Pratt.
Woo! That's what I like to hear. Anybody else have any kind of last minute things they want to? Does anybody have anything upcoming they'd like to show? Now's a good time for that.
Well, like usual, I've got the Pain of Progress coming tomorrow. So working on that quite diligently, a little bit behind, but yeah, I'm going to get it out on time.
I just want to quickly apologize for ranting. Sorry.
No, it's all good, Tony. That's what we do here.
Welcome to the Rantville. And anybody else who missed the Mega Mirror today, please go check it out. Dick Dawson was fun as hell on there. It was
yeah, he was. It was a great show.
Until his internet crapped out on him.
Oh yeah.
Also, Tony spared us a lot more Pratt, so thank you.
That's true. That's true. The more Tony rants, the more we don't have to hear Pratt.
I've got a video coming up, which you might be, which hopefully you guys will be interested in watching, and that is a test across water, which hopefully flat earthers will be interested in carrying out, because then definitively, if the hypothesis goes one way, the Earth is flat. If it goes the other way, it's a sphere.
Excellent. Another challenge for flat earthers. I look forward to that. They always respond so well. Anybody else? I think we're just about at that time.
This done?
Nope. Okay. Well, with that, I think that's about it for us. We had a lot of fun tonight. We saw some stupid. We talked some shit. I'm glad everyone was able to come, and I hope to see you all at the after show as well.
Awesome.
Take care now. Ciao.
Bye, everybody.